In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, the year 2224 marked a turning point for humanity. The Galactic Federation, a coalition of advanced alien races, had reluctantly accepted Earth as its newest member just a decade ago. But humans were far from welcome. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the Earth Space Force ship Curiosity, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display of the Federation Council meeting. The blue-skinned Zoraxians, the four-armed Qualdrons, and the crystalline Lithovians all towered over the human representative, Ambassador Jackson. Humans, spat Zoraxian Commander Vexthor, his tentacles writhing in disgust, are nothing but cowards. They hide behind their primitive technology and refuse to engage in honorable combat. Sarah's fists clenched at her sides. She had fought hard to earn her position, to prove that humans were worthy of their place among the stars. But the Federation saw them as weak, timid creatures, unfit for the challenges of galactic life. Ambassador Jackson, a tall man with graying hair, stood his ground. We may not share your love for combat, Commander, but humans have much to offer. Our adaptability, our innovation. Bah, interrupted Qualdron General Kraz. Innovation? You can barely travel faster than light. Your weapons are toys compared to ours. Sarah watched as Jackson tried to defend humanity's honor, but his words fell on deaf ears. The meeting ended with humans once again relegated to menial tasks within the Federation, denied any meaningful role in galactic affairs. As the hologram faded, Sarah turned to her second-in-command, Lieutenant Raj Patil. They don't understand us. Raj. They see our caution as cowardice, our desire for peace as weakness. Raj nodded, his usually cheerful face somber. Maybe they're right, Captain. Maybe we don't belong out here. No, Sarah said firmly. We've earned our place among the stars. One day, we'll prove our worth. Little did they know, that day was coming sooner than anyone expected. Alarms blared across the Curiosity, startling the crew. Sarah rushed to the command console. Report. Captain, we're receiving a distress signal, the communications officer announced. It's from the Zoraxian homeworld. Silence fell over the bridge. The Zoraxians, with their advanced weaponry and warrior culture, asking for help. It was unthinkable. The main screen flickered to life, showing a scene of chaos. Zoraxian cities were in flames, strange dark ships raining destruction from above. Commander Vexthor's face appeared, his blue skin pale with fear. This is an emergency broadcast to all Federation worlds. We are under attack by an unknown force. Our weapons are useless. Our greatest warriors fall before them. We need immediate assistance. Sarah's mind raced. This was a chance to prove humanity's worth, but it was also incredibly dangerous. The Zoraxians' weapons were far superior to Earth's. If they couldn't stop this threat, what chance did humans have? Captain, Raj said quietly, what are your orders? All eyes on the bridge turned to Sarah. She took a deep breath, weighing their options. The Federation had never faced a threat like this. The warrior races were falling. Perhaps it was time for a different approach. Contact Earth Command, she said finally. Tell them we're responding to the Zoraxian distress call. Raj's eyes widened. But Captain, our orders are to avoid conflict and observe only. Sarah smiled grimly. Sometimes, Raj, the bravest thing to do is to help those who despise you. Humanity has more to offer than they know. It's time we showed them. As the Curiosity changed course, heading towards the heart of the conflict, Sarah felt a mix of fear and determination. Humans had been called cowards by the galaxy for too long. Now they would show the Federation what true courage looked like. The battle for the galaxy had begun, and humanity was stepping up to the challenge. Whether they would be hailed as saviors or remembered as fools remained to be seen. But one thing was certain. The age of human timidity in the face of galactic affairs was over. The Curiosity dropped out of hyperspace near the Zoraxian homeworld, Zora Prime. Captain Sarah Chen's jaw dropped at the sight before her. The once mighty planet, home to the galaxy's most feared warriors, was surrounded by strange, dark ships. They looked like giant squids made of shadow, their tentacles lashing out to crush Zoraxian vessels. "My God," whispered Raj. "What are those things?" Sarah shook her head. "I don't know, but we need to help. Scan those ships. Find any weakness we can exploit." As the crew worked, a transmission came through. Commander Vexthor's face appeared on screen, his usual arrogance replaced by desperation. "Humans, you dare to come here. We need real warriors, not cowards hiding in their tin cans." Sarah bit back a sharp reply. "Commander, we're here to help. What can you tell us about these attackers?" Vexthor snarled but answered, "They appeared from nowhere. Our weapons don't harm them. They consume our energy." Sarah's mind raced. Energy-eating aliens? That explained why the Zoraxians' advanced weapons were useless. But maybe, just maybe, humanity's primitive technology could be an advantage. "Raj," she said, "what if we use projectile weapons, old-fashioned missiles, and bullets?" Raj's eyes widened. "Physical weapons instead of energy-based. It's so simple it just might work." Sarah nodded. "Prepare all conventional weapons, and get me Earth Command. We need reinforcements." As the Curiosity moved into position, Sarah addressed her crew. "I know we're outnumbered and outgunned, but remember, throughout history, humans have faced impossible odds. We've survived ice ages, plagues, and our own destructive nature. We're still here because we never give up. Today, we fight not just for ourselves, but for the entire galaxy." A cheer went up from the crew. The Curiosity launched its first salvo of missiles. To everyone's amazement, they struck true, tearing holes in the alien ships. "It's working," Raj shouted. "The alien shields don't stop physical objects." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "All ships, focus fire on the lead vessel. Let's show these aliens what humans can do." The battle raged for hours. The Curiosity darted between the massive alien ships, its primitive weapons causing more damage than the Zoraxians' energy cannons ever could. Slowly but surely, they were making a difference. But it wasn't enough. For every alien ship they damaged, two more seemed to appear. The Curiosity's hull was breached in multiple places, and their ammunition was running low. "Captain," Raj said grimly, "we can't keep this up much longer." Sarah gritted her teeth. They couldn't give up now. But what else could they do? Suddenly, a new voice crackled over the comms. "This is Admiral Yuki Tanaka of the Earth Defense Fleet. Sorry we're late to the party, Curiosity. Mind if we join in?" Sarah's heart soared as hundreds of human ships dropped out of hyperspace, launching a barrage of missiles and projectiles at the alien fleet. Commander Vexthor's voice came through, a mix of awe and confusion in his tone. "Impossible. How are you doing this?" "Sometimes, Commander," Sarah replied. "The old ways are the best ways. Now shall we save your planet together?" With the human fleet's arrival, the tide of battle turned. The alien ships, for all their advanced technology, had no defense against the simple physical weapons of humanity. One by one, they fell or retreated. As the last alien ship vanished into the depths of space, a cheer went up across the human fleet. They had done it. They had saved Zora Prime. On the bridge of the Curiosity, battered but unbroken, Sarah allowed herself a moment of pride. Humanity had proven its worth today. They might not be the strongest or the most advanced race in the galaxy, but they were far from cowards. As the adrenaline of battle faded, Sarah realized this was only the beginning. The aliens would be back, and next time, they'd be ready for humanity's tricks. The real test was yet to come. But for now, as Zoraxian ships approached not in threat, but in gratitude, Sarah knew one thing for certain. The galaxy would never look at humans the same way again. The aftermath of the battle for Zora Prime was chaos. Debris from destroyed ships floated in orbit, While on the surface, Zoraxian cities smoldered. Captain Sarah Chen stood in the Grand Hall of the Zoraxian High Command, feeling out of place among the tall, blue-skinned warriors. Commander Vexthor approached, his tentacles twitching nervously. "Captain Chen," he said, his voice gruff but no longer hostile. "Your unconventional tactics saved our world. The Zoraxian people owe you a debt." Sarah nodded, hiding her surprise at the commander's change in attitude. "We're all part of the Galactic Federation, Commander. Humans stand with our allies." Before Vexthor could respond, a hologram flickered to life in the center of the room. It showed the Galactic Council chamber, filled with representatives from every Federation race. The Qualdron speaker, General Kraz, looked shaken. "Attention all Federation worlds," Kraz announced, his forearms gesticulating wildly. "The threat we faced at Zora Prime was not an isolated incident. Similar attacks have been reported across the galaxy. We are at war." Murmurs of fear rippled through the Zoraxian hall. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. This was worse than they had imagined. The hologram changed, showing images of the shadow-like ships attacking various worlds. "These beings, which we now call the Void Eaters, seem intent on consuming all energy in the galaxy," Kraz continued. "Our most advanced weapons are useless against them." Sarah stepped forward, her voice clear and steady. "Not all weapons, General. Humanity's projectile-based technology has proven effective." All eyes in the hologram turned to her. There was a moment of stunned silence before the chamber erupted in shouting. Some voices called for human aid, while others dismissed the idea of relying on primitive weaponry. Amidst the chaos, a new voice cut through. "Enough." It was Ambassador Jackson, the human representative. "We stand at the brink of annihilation, and you still cling to your prejudices. Humanity offers its full support and resources to combat this threat." The shouting died down. General Kraz spoke again, his voice heavy. "The Council agrees. We need every advantage we can get. Captain Chen, can humanity replicate its success on a galactic scale?" Sarah took a deep breath. This was a moment that would define humanity's place in the galaxy. "We can, General, but we'll need help. Our factories will need to be converted to produce old-style weapons on a massive scale. We'll need resources, and we'll need to train other races to use these weapons effectively." Commander Vexthor stepped forward. "The Zoraxian fleet is at your disposal, Captain. We will learn your ways of war." Over the next few days, Sarah found herself at the center of a whirlwind of activity. Human engineers worked alongside Zoraxian craftsmen, adapting projectile weapons for alien physiology. The Lithovians offered their crystalline technology to enhance targeting systems, while Qualdron strategists pored over human military history, studying guerrilla tactics and asymmetric warfare. As Sarah oversaw the transformation of the Zoraxian military, she couldn't help but feel a sense of irony. The very traits that had made humans seem weak, their caution, their adaptability, their knack for thinking outside the box, were now the galaxy's greatest hope. One evening, as she watched Zoraxian warriors practicing with human-style rifles, Raj approached her. "Captain," he said, his voice low, "Earth Command sent a new report. The Void Eaters, they're heading for Sol. They're targeting Earth." Sarah's blood ran cold. They had known this might happen, but so soon. Earth's defenses were still being upgraded. They weren't ready. She turned to Raj, her face set with determination. "Tell Earth we're on our way, and inform Commander Vexthor. It's time to return the favor." As the newly formed human Zoraxian fleet prepared to depart for Earth, Sarah addressed the assembled aliens. "You once called us cowards," she said, her voice echoing through the hangar. "Now we ask you to be as brave as we must be. Earth is our home, but this galaxy is home to us all. Together, we will show the Void Eaters that the light of civilization will never be extinguished." A cheer went up from thousands of alien throats. As Sarah boarded her ship, she knew the real test was yet to come. The battle for Earth would decide the fate of not just humanity, but the entire galaxy. The stars beckoned, and with them, the greatest challenge humanity had ever faced. But for the first time since joining the Galactic Federation, Sarah felt that humans were truly part of something greater than themselves. They were no longer the galaxy's cowards. They were its last, best hope. The journey to Earth was tense. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the Curiosity, now the flagship of a mixed fleet of human and alien vessels. Beside her, Commander Vexthor shifted nervously, his tentacles curling and uncurling. "Tell me, human," he said, "what is it about your world that makes it worth dying for?" Sarah smiled sadly. "It's not just the world, Commander. It's what it represents. Earth is where humanity learned to dream of the stars. It's where we first looked up and wondered what was out there. If we lose Earth, we lose a part of ourselves." Vexthor nodded slowly. Perhaps we are not so different after all." Their conversation was interrupted by a shout from the sensor station. "Captain, multiple Void Eater ships detected in the Sol system." Sarah's heart raced. "How many?" "At least 100, ma'am. They're attacking the orbital defenses." Sarah took a deep breath. This was it. All ships, battle stations. Remember your training. Use the projectile weapons. Aim for their weak spots. The fleet dropped out of hyperspace near Mars. The scene before them was chaos. Earth's orbital platforms were firing desperately at the Void Eaters, but their energy weapons were being absorbed harmlessly. Meanwhile, the shadow ships were tearing through Earth's defenses like paper. "Curiosity to Earth Command," Sarah called. "We're here with reinforcements. Hold on." Admiral Tanaka's voice crackled over the comms. "Thank God you're here, Captain. We're barely holding on. These things, they're not just absorbing energy. They're draining it from the planet itself." Sarah's blood ran cold. If the Void Eaters drained Earth's energy, all life on the planet would die. They had to stop them. Now, "All ships, engage," she ordered. "Zoraxian cruisers, focus fire on the largest ships. Human vessels, pick off the smaller ones. Let's show these energy vampires what real firepower looks like." The battle was fierce. Projectiles streaked across space, punching holes in the Void Eaters' shadowy forms. But for every ship they destroyed, it seemed 2 more took its place. On the Curiosity's bridge, Sarah and Vexthor worked in perfect sync, coordinating the fleet's movements. Human ingenuity combined with Zoraxian battle prowess, creating a force unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. But it wasn't enough. The Void Eaters were pushing closer to Earth, their tendrils reaching for the planet's atmosphere. "We need a new plan," Sarah muttered. Then an idea struck her. "Wait, they feed on energy, right? So what if we gave them more than they could handle?" She turned to her science officer. "The lunar fusion reactors, are they still operational?" The officer nodded, confused. "Yes, but..." "Good. I need you to overload them. All of them." Vexthor's eyes widened. "You want to blow up your own moon?" Sarah shook her head. "Not blow it up. Just create the biggest energy spike we can. If we can lure the Void Eaters there." Understanding dawned on the alien commander's face. "They'll try to absorb it all at once." "Exactly. And hopefully, it'll be too much for them to handle." It was a desperate plan, but it was all they had. Sarah gave the order, and the lunar reactors began to power up beyond safe levels. The effect was immediate. The Void Eaters turned as one, drawn by the promise of an energy feast. They swarmed towards the moon, their shadowy forms stretching eagerly. "Now," Sarah shouted, "all ships, fire everything you've got." As the Void Eaters began to absorb the lunar reactor's energy, the combined fleet unleashed a barrage of projectiles. Caught between the overwhelming energy input and the physical assault, the shadow ships began to writhe and distort. For a moment, it seemed like the plan had failed. Then, with a silent flash that lit up the entire solar system, the Void Eaters exploded. The shockwave rocked every ship in the fleet, but when it cleared, not a single enemy vessel remained. A cheer went up across the fleet. Earth was saved. Humanity had faced its greatest threat and emerged victorious. As the celebration raged around her, Sarah stared at the view screen, hardly daring to believe it was over. They had won, yes, but at what cost? The moon was scared, Earth's defenses were in ruins, and who knew how many had died in the attack? But they were alive. Humanity had proven itself to the galaxy, and as she watched the sun rise over the blue marble of Earth, Sarah knew that this was just the beginning. The galaxy would never be the same again, and humanity would be at the forefront of that change. Not bad for a bunch of cowards, huh? She said softly. Beside her, Vexthor laughed. Indeed, Captain. Indeed. 2 weeks after the Battle of Earth, Captain Sarah Chen stood before the Galactic Council. The chamber was packed with representatives from every Federation world, their eyes fixed on the small human figure at the center. General Kraz, the Qualdron speaker, addressed her. Captain Chen, you and your species have done the impossible. You've saved not just Earth, but countless worlds from the Void Eater threat. The Council wishes to hear your report. Sarah took a deep breath. Thank you, General. The threat has been neutralized, but at great cost. Earth's orbital defenses are in ruins. Our moon bears scars that will last millennia. And we've lost many brave souls, both human and alien. She paused, looking around the chamber. But we've gained something too. Unity. Understanding. A shared victory that proves we're stronger together than apart. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd. Even the usually stoic Lithogians seemed moved. However, Sarah continued, her voice growing serious. We cannot afford to grow complacent. The Void Eaters were defeated, but not destroyed entirely. Our long-range scans have detected remnants of their fleet regrouping in the galactic fringe. The chamber erupted in worried whispers. Sarah raised her hand for silence. We have a choice to make. Do we wait for them to recover and attack again? Or do we take the fight to them? Commander Vexthor, now the Zoraxian representative, stood up. The Zoraxian Empire stands with humanity. We say we fight. One by one, other representatives stood, pledging their support. Sarah felt a swell of pride. This was what humanity had achieved, not just victory in battle, but unity among the stars. General Kraz nodded solemnly. It seems the Council is in agreement. Captain Chen, we task you with leading this mission. You will command a joint fleet to hunt down the remaining Void Eaters and ensure the safety of our galaxy. Sarah bowed her head. I accept this honor and responsibility. As the council session ended, Sarah found herself surrounded by alien diplomats, all eager to shake her hand or offer congratulations. It was surreal. Just months ago, these same beings had dismissed humans as cowards. Ambassador Jackson approached, beaming with pride. Well done, Captain. You've changed the course of human history. Sarah smiled tiredly. We all did, Ambassador. Every human, every alien who stood with us. But our work isn't done yet. Over the next few days, Sarah worked tirelessly to prepare for the upcoming mission. The joint fleet grew larger by the hour as more worlds contributed ships and resources. Human engineers worked alongside alien technicians, upgrading vessels with the latest in hybrid technology. A perfect blend of human ingenuity and alien advancement. On the eve of their departure, Sarah stood in the observation deck of the newly christened Galactic Alliance flagship, Unity. Earth shone blue and beautiful below, its scars already beginning to heal. Raj joined her, handing her a cup of coffee. Quite a view, isn't it, Captain? Sarah nodded. It reminds me why we're fighting. Not just for humanity, but for every world out there. Raj hesitated, then asked, do you ever wonder if we're pushing our luck? We've already achieved so much. Maybe we should focus on rebuilding instead of chasing the Void Eaters. Sarah turned to face him. Raj, Do you know why humans were considered cowards by the galactic community? He shook his head. Because we always looked before we leaped. We planned, we prepared, we considered the consequences. The others saw it as fear, but it was wisdom. She gestured towards the stars. Now, we're leaping, but we're doing it our way, with careful planning and united strength. Raj smiled. I see your point. We're not being reckless. We're being thorough. Exactly. The galaxy called us cowards because we refuse to rush into danger. Now, we're showing them that true courage isn't about fearlessness. It's about facing your fears and doing what's right anyway. As if on cue, the ship's intercom crackled to life. Captain Chen to the bridge. We're ready for departure. Sarah straightened her uniform. Well, Raj, shall we go make history again? Together, they walked to the bridge. As Sarah took her place in the captain's chair, she felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. But she also felt hope. Humanity had proven itself. They had earned their place among the stars. All ships, prepare for hyperspace jump, she ordered. Our destination. The galactic fringe. Our mission. To protect all life in this galaxy. Let's show the universe what humanity can do. As the fleet jumped to hyperspace, Sarah knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. The age of human timidity was over. The age of galactic unity had begun. 3 months into their mission, the Unity and its fleet reached the edge of known space. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, staring at the unfamiliar star patterns on the view screen. The galactic fringe was a dangerous, unexplored region, and somewhere out there, the remaining Void Eaters were hiding. Captain, Raj called from his station. Long-range scanners are picking up some strange energy readings. It doesn't match anything in our database. Sarah frowned. Could it be the Void Eaters? Before Raj could answer, Commander Vexthor burst onto the bridge. Captain Chen, we've intercepted a distress signal. It's from a Void Eater ship. The bridge fell silent. Sarah's mind raced. A distress signal. From their enemy. It didn't make sense. Play it, she ordered. A strange, echoing voice filled the bridge. It spoke in no language anyone recognized, but the universal translator struggled to interpret. Help. Trapped. Hungry. No more light. Sarah exchanged glances with Vexthor. Could this be a trap? The Zoraxian commander's tentacles twitched nervously. Possibly. But if it's genuine. Sarah nodded. She understood the implications. If the Void Eaters were truly in distress, this could be an opportunity to end the conflict without further bloodshed. But if it was a trap, they could be flying right into an ambush. Raj, can you locate the source of the transmission? She asked. Raj nodded. Yes, Captain. It's coming from a nearby star system. But the star there is dying. It's almost a black dwarf. Sarah's eyes widened. A dying star would have very little energy left, barely enough to sustain life. For energy-eating beings like the Void Eaters, it would be a death sentence. She made her decision. Set a course for that system. All ships on high alert. We're going in, but we're going in cautiously. As they approached the dying star, the fleet spread out in a defensive formation. The Unity led the way, its sensors probing the darkness ahead. Suddenly, a massive shape loomed before them. It was a Void Eater ship, but not like any they had seen before. This one was enormous, easily 10 times the size of the Unity. And it was changing. Its shadowy surface rippled and shifted, taking on an almost crystalline appearance. By the stars, Vexthor whispered, "What is that?" Sarah leaned forward in her chair. "Hail them." The view screen flickered to life, revealing a sight that made everyone on the bridge gasp. The beam before them was clearly a Void Eater, but it was different. Instead of a formless shadow, it had a distinct shape, almost humanoid, but with swirling energy patterns across its body. "I am Zix," the being spoke, its voice resonating strangely. "Leader of what you call the Void Eaters. We apologize for the harm we have caused." Sarah stood, her voice firm despite her shock. "I am Captain Sarah Chen of the Galactic Alliance. We received your distress call. What's happening here?" Zix's form shimmered. "We are dying, Captain. Our hunger, it consumed us. We lost ourselves in it. But now, as our energy fades, we remember who we once were." The story Zix told was incredible. The Void Eaters had once been energy beings, living in harmony with the stars. But a catastrophe in their home galaxy had left them starving, driving them mad with hunger. They had fled across the universe, consuming everything in their path, forgetting their true nature. "And now?" Sarah asked. "Now we wish to atone," Zix replied. "But we need help. We cannot survive without energy, but we do not wish to harm others anymore." Sarah's mind raced. This was an opportunity for peace, but it was also a huge risk. Could they trust these beings? Could they find a way to coexist? She turned to her crew, seeing the same mix of hope and fear in their eyes. This was why they had come out here, not just to fight, but to explore, to understand, to find new solutions to old problems. "Zix," Sarah said, turning back to the view screen, "I cannot promise anything yet, but we are willing to talk. Perhaps together, we can find a way for your people to survive without harming others." Zix's form brightened. "Thank you, Captain. Your courage, your willingness to face the unknown, it reminds us of who we once were. Perhaps we can learn from each other." As negotiations began, Sarah couldn't help but smile. Once again, humanity's so-called cowardice, their caution, their diplomacy, their search for peaceful solutions, had opened up new possibilities. They had come prepared for war, but found an opportunity for peace. The future was uncertain, but for the first time since the Void Eaters appeared, it was full of hope. And it all started because the cowardly humans dared to listen before they leaped. 1 year had passed since the historic meeting with Zix and the Void Eaters. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of Unity Station, a massive space habitat orbiting a red dwarf star. The station was a testament to what could be achieved when different species worked together. Sarah watched as a group of reformed Void Eaters, now called the Luminars, floated outside. They were helping to install new energy collectors, their crystalline bodies glowing softly in the starlight. "Quite a sight, isn't it?" a familiar voice said. Sarah turned to see Ambassador Jackson approaching. "It still amazes me every time I see it," she admitted. Jackson nodded. "Who would have thought that our greatest enemies would become our most valuable allies?" The solution they had found was elegantly simple. The Luminars could feed on the energy of red dwarf stars, the most common type of star in the galaxy, without causing harm. In return, they used their ability to manipulate energy to help power ships and stations across the Federation. Captain Chen to the conference room. The station's AI announced. "The Galactic Council session is about to begin." Sarah and Jackson made their way to the conference room. Inside, holograms of representatives from every Federation world flickered into existence. At the center stood Zix, representing the Luminars. General Kraz, the Qualdron speaker, called the session to order. "Today marks 1 year since the Luminar Integration Treaty was signed. Captain Chen, as the architect of this peace, please present your report." Sarah stepped forward. "Thank you, General. The integration of the Luminars into our galactic community has been a resounding success. Crime rates across the Federation have dropped by 30% thanks to their energy regulation abilities. Our scientific understanding of the universe has advanced by leaps and bounds. And perhaps most importantly, we have proven that even the deepest conflicts can be resolved through understanding and cooperation." Murmurs of approval rippled through the council. Even the normally stoic Lithogians seemed impressed. Zix spoke next, its crystalline form shimmering. "We cannot express our gratitude enough. The humans, once labeled as cowards by this very council, showed true courage. They faced us not with weapons, but with open minds and open hearts. They have taught us that true strength lies not in consumption, but in creation and cooperation. As Zix finished, something unprecedented happened. One by one, the council members stood and began to applaud. The applause grew until it thundered through the room. When the noise died down, General Kraz spoke again. In light of these achievements, the Council has reached a unanimous decision. We hereby extend an invitation to Earth to become the new capital world of the Galactic Federation. Sarah's jaw dropped. She looked at Jackson, who seemed equally shocked. Furthermore, Kraz continued, we propose that the Federation be renamed to the United Galactic Alliance to reflect our new era of true unity and cooperation. The room erupted in cheers. Sarah felt a wave of emotion wash over her. This was beyond anything she had ever imagined. As the session concluded, Sarah found herself surrounded by well-wishers from every species. Commander Vexthor approached, his tentacles curled in what Sarah now recognized as a Zoraxian smile. Well, Captain, he said, it seems the galaxy has finally recognized what I learned a year ago. Humans may not be the strongest or the most advanced, but your species has something special. You have the courage to be kind, to seek understanding where others see only enemies. Perhaps that is the greatest courage of all. Sarah smiled, thinking back to where it all began. You know, Commander, I think you're right. We were called cowards because we hesitated, because we sought peaceful solutions. But in the end, that so-called cowardice saved not just our world, but the entire galaxy. As she looked out at the diverse group of beings in the room, humans, Zoraxians, Qualdrons, Lithovians, and Luminars, all working together, Sarah felt a sense of pride and hope. The future was bright, filled with endless possibilities. And it all started because the cowardly humans dared to be different, dared to listen, dared to hope. In the face of destruction, they had chosen creation. In the face of war, they had chosen peace. As the new era dawned, Sarah knew that humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. And this time, they wouldn't be stepping up alone. They would be walking forward, hand in hand, with the entire galaxy by their side.